Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another 10 Car Tuesday episode. And today we're going to look at some Ford racing cars, including the Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe. So, in the theme of Ford versus Ferrari, we're going to do the Fords this week and we'll do the Ferraris next week. So, and it's not necessarily going to be, totally related to the film, but it just so happened I've got 10 of each car, and we're just going to check them out. So this thing right here, the Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe, this particular version is a new model for 2007. You're looking at the red one. It actually came out in like 5 different variations in 2007. This was just one. I've got one more to look at after this, but let's go ahead and open up this one. So we're going to free the piece on that and take a peek. So I'll be straight up, I am not a huge fan of this casting. I think with its exaggerated features and how large the wheels are, I think it looks a little ridiculous. It is way out of scale. But I guess it's kind of cool. Just a pretty crazy out of scale casting. So this thing in the mainline, 5 different variations in 2007, hit the Classic Series in 2008. It was a Super Treasure Hunt and a regular Treasure Hunt in 2010. It's had a few other releases, 2013 Cool Classics. More recently, it was seen in the 2018 Car Culture Circuit Legends series, and then it was in 2019. It was actually in 2 series. It was in Forza Horizon 4 in the Larry Wood anniversary series, which both of those series were found, I believe, at Walmart's in the U.S. So it's gotten a lot of love actually recently. It's gotten 3 releases in the last 2 years, and then it was a multi-pack exclusive actually in 2017 and a multi-pack exclusive in 2016. So before it had a gap between 2013 and 2016. But anyway, here it is in, this color is actually quite nice. This is like a green, bluish green. Very nice looking car. A very nice looking color, I should say. The car is okay. It's nice to have an example of the casting. But just not a great job on it, as far as making it look proportionate. This definitely looks more like a toy than a collectible, but that's, Hot Wheels toes that line all the time. So there you go. There's those 2 models for your number 1 and 2. Number 3 is going to be a one-off for this episode. This is the 2008 Ford Focus. When I was looking up this casting, it's pretty interesting. So it was released in 2008 in the mainline. This is a 2008 new model. It was available 2009 as a mystery model, 2010 then it had an Easter release, then 2011 Valentine release, 2013 it was in the mainline, 2 variations there, and then 2015 5-pack, and then a 2018 multi-pack exclusive. And when I was looking them up, I'm like, wow, all of them really have ugly graphics on them, except for the car I had in my hands, which is interesting because I think this is actually an error. I think it's missing the side tampos, and I think from looking at it, I think it's missing the tampos on the other side too. It's an error. I think it's an error. It's not supposed to be like that, but it looks way better like that, so I'm going to keep it. Oh, it's got the tampo on the other side. So now I'm curious, is that tampo only supposed to be on one side of the car? Or is it supposed to be on both? It looks much better like this. It would look great actually without any of this going on. It's kind of a nice looking casting. Ooh, and it got double stamped on this side. Check that out. So, I don't know exactly how these things go production. I probably should learn exactly what happens to these cars through them, because then I could maybe explain errors more. However, so this one got stamped twice with the tampos, the graphics, on one side of the car. See how that's off like that? It got duplicate stamped on the one side in this side got missed. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I'm assuming that it's, I mean, errors are always more valuable, right, if they're in packages, but this one I don't think, you know, if there's an error collector out there that would want something like this where it got double stamped on one side and it's missing the tamp on the other side, and this would be one of those errors that would be like probably impossible for someone to just like fake or replicate. So that's the kind of errors that I think are cool, and that's interesting. Okay, so that's your car number 3. So moving on from that, we're going to go to this is kind of an interesting casting. This was a concept car from Ford. This is the Ford GTX1, and I believe this came out before they were going to release the new Ford GT, I think. Anyway, it's like a convertible version or spider version kind of the Ford GT. And this particular one, I've got 4 variations to look at. The majority are from 2007. In 2007, they released like 6 different versions of this car with different wheel variations and colors and all that jazz. And then in 2008, they released it again, 2 different variations. 2009, mystery model. Then it got a Speed Machines release in 2010, as well as a Super Treasure Hunt release in 2010. And then from then we saw it in Clover cars. It showed up in Boulevard, the Boulevard series as well. And then it was in the main line in 2012. And in 2013, it was a 10-pack exclusive with 3 different color variations. And that's the last we saw of it. So we haven't seen it since 2013. Which is okay. It's a concept car. It still looks pretty cool. For the people that like to collect Ford GTs, I think maybe you'd like this one. How different the size is, though, between the back wheels and the front wheels. Again, it kind of suffers from the same problem that this kind of suffered from. The wheels just kind of look a little crazy with how big the back one is. Now, I know the back wheel on these probably would be a little bit larger, but not to that degree. Chrome interior. This one has a black plastic base, chrome interior. I'm not really sure why they had to do a chrome. Well, I guess it's probably because of that engine detail right there. Oh, and the tail lights are actually part of the interior piece. That's interesting. So you think they'd do a red interior more often. Did not, but it's chrome on this one too. There's another variation of it. This one in yellow. Actually, I think it looks a bit better than the one in blue. Not a terrible looking car, because it looks basically like the Ford GT without a top. It's just that the wheels, I just think, are sized all wrong. And then we got, especially on this one with like low profile tires, that looks crazy. Then we got another one from 2007. This one in white. Looks okay. Kind of a pearl white with the 5-spoke wheels. I think it looks better on 5-spoke wheels than it does on these. Kind of cool. And then I got a 2008 release. This one has a gold interior instead of chrome, which means it's going to have gold taillights. And it's on gold wheels. And it's flat black. It looks pretty good. It's going to be in the black and gold series. I think out of the 4, I like the color combo of this yellow and the gray. I think the paint color on this one looks the best. So I'm going to go with this one as being the best. This would be maybe a second. These would be third and fourth. I know I said I like these wheels better on it, but yeah, black and blue. The white and blue one at least is more appropriate for it, I guess. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this casting down in the comments below. This is definitely not one I collect. I just happen to have this many of them. And, I mean, it's kind of cool. I like Ford GTs, so maybe I should get every version of this. I don't think it would be that difficult to get them all. So, there's that. And then lastly, a casting I do collect is the Ford GT40. I've got 3 different variations of it here to take a peek at. Now these, it's not the best Ford GT40 casting that's out there from, different makes, manufacturers, and all that stuff, but Hot Wheels did an okay job in this. And I'm not going to go over the casting history of it. I'll tell you, it debuted in 1999, okay? So it's been used a ton of times and is still used today. This actually is a copyright date, 1999. So this one probably came out 2000, yeah. So second year of its releases. It was a treasure hunt. I think that was 2000. Is it the same as this year? 2000. Well, anyway, it was a treasure hunt. Not when they had supers, but they just had treasure hunts. So it was one of those. And it's a super this year, or for 2020. So the 2020 B case is a super treasure hunt of this car. It's kind of cool in Golf livery, nonetheless. And then in 2013, the most notable model of this is probably the RLC Golf Racing Ford GT40, which came out HotWheelsCollectors.com. Now that one is probably was definitely the most expensive of the Ford GT40s to try to acquire. This is a casting I do collect. I do go after any variation I don't have, including that I am missing that RLC piece. It's just way too expensive. It's like out of my range for what I want to pay for it. So that will be a hard one to get for a while. There's some other weird releases. This thing's just been released a ton of times. So here it is in red, number 78. Casting does have a plastic base, metal body, and it's an alright looking tooling. Pretty decent there. And then this one is from 2001. Same wheels on this one. But it is purple. It has number 78 on it as well. Actually, okay, so this one's from 2001. This one's from 2000, I think was on the back of that package, right? So they actually have the same tampo scheme. They're just a color variation. This one being in purple, the white interior. Looks okay. I have a ton of different versions of this car in my collection. So adding these two, that's cool. And then last vehicle we're going to look at for this 10 Car Tuesday, Ford Racing Edition, is this one from the Classic Series. This is from Classic Series 2. These came out, I believe, in 2006. And it is in kind of a Spectra Flame Gold. Looks pretty cool. I don't know how many variations there are, this off the top of my head, but there's probably quite a few. In the Classic Series, they put out tons of colors of the same car. So it looks pretty sweet in this kind of gold, orangish gold color. I think it's almost orange. And it's gold, orange, whatever. It looks nice. So this one is a metal body, metal base. So there's a plastic base version of this casting, of course, and a metal base version of this casting. And I like it quite a bit. This is a cool casting. My favorite Ford GT casting, though, from Hot Wheels, I didn't have one here to show you, but is the Ford GT LM. I think that is the best looking one from Hot Wheels. That casting I definitely love and collect it. And but this is probably a second place for me. So, all right, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. Again, probably the weirdest one we looked at was this one because it's an error. So that's kind of weird. So, all right, so check out the playlist, 10 Car Tuesday. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.